Haldiram is poisoning you, and they're doing it intentionally, and they're doing it systematically. And the worst part, you are paying them for it. Now look at the ingredients. It's mostly edible vegetable oil. It's a blend of palm oil, cottonseed oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and rice bran oil. Not just one, but five. They're blending five oils, all of them unhealthy, and all of these are industrial fats. You have to understand one thing, that none of these oils are healthy, and all of these oils are full of omega 6, which will cause excessive inflammation in your body, and they cause a lot of diseases. Well, this is actually a genius business move from their side. Bad for us, but good for them. So here's how it works. If they have a blend of five oils in one can and they use that one blend to manufacture all their products, if the oil prices of one or two oils goes very high in the market, all they have to do is reduce the quantity of those oils by a lot and increase the quantity of the cheaper oils, so they can still manufacture things for dirt cheap prices. It's a good move business wise, but like I said, it's horrible for the customers. And they can do all of this and get away with it because the FSSAI regulations, they don't require them to disclose the quantity of the oils that they're using. So all they have to do is mention what oils they're using. They don't have to tell you in what proportions. And they don't have to change the label every single time they change the blend. They're getting away with it. Total flexibility for the company and zero accountability and zero transparency. Fantastic. Every single one of these oils is very high in omega 6, and when you consume that, your body enters a state of low grade inflammation. And this leads to a lot of diseases, cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases, obesity, and it leads to metabolic diseases. And these diseases open doors to even more diseases and infections, which really messes people up. And this is exactly what Indian people are facing right now. The European Food Safety Authority and multiple other researchers have found that when you heat palm oil, it produces contaminants which are carcinogenic and genotoxic. Carcinogenic means cancer causing, and genotoxic means it harms your DNA. DNA. And the worst part is many restaurants and roadside vendors in India have opted to palm oil. They are frying your foods in oils and chemicals that cause cancer and DNA damage. Genetic level shit. But Haldiram wasn't always like this. It all started in 1937, a tiny shop in Bikaner, Rajasthan. One man, just one man, Ganga Bhishen Agarwal, sitting there in his shop making bhujia out of all the natural ingredients. No industrial bullshit, just desi ghee and groundnut oil. Cold pressed, mind you. And all through 1960s and 1970s, when the Haldiram brand was expanding to Delhi and Nagpur, they still stuck with locally sourced, cold-pressed oils. And in these decades, 96% of the oil that Indians consumed was produced by our own crops of mustard and groundnut. Then, in 1991, when India opens its gate to global trade, cheap palm oil from Malaysia and Indonesia flows in at half the price of locally available cold-pressed oils, groundnut oils and mustard oils. Half the price. You can guess what businesses would do. They would, of course, shift to these cheaper sources of oils to maximize their profit margins. And that is exactly what happened. And then, in 1998, a tragedy. In Delhi, 1998, some greedy oil manufacturers thought it would be a great idea to adulterate pure mustard oil with cheap oils like argemone seed oil and petroleum-based white oil, which were obviously poisonous. And that toxic mix led to the death of at least 60 people and caused severe illnesses such as cardiac failure and glaucoma in over 3,000 people. And that incident led to complete collapse of public's trust in Indian local producers and opened the gates to foreign produced refined oils. One massive tragedy, thousands of lives destroyed, and all for what? Greed. Now coming back to Haldiram's. They did exactly what every other food manufacturer did, and they followed the money. Groundnut oil, 1,300 plus rupees. And palm oil, 600 rupees. 400 if they buy it in bulk. It's obvious that they would take this path. Every company, as time passes, they will pick profit margins and they will pick cost cutting, no matter what. Every company wants to produce profits. Every company wants to please their shareholders. By the 2000s, palm oil was introduced into the packets. And by 2010s, palm oil was everywhere. And by the time 2020s rolled around, they were all in on 5-oil blend. 87 years from desi ghee to palm oil industrial crap. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, in 2025, Singapore's Temasek bought a 10% stake in Haldiram's for $1 billion US, valuing Haldiram's at $10 billion. And then Alpha Wave Group, UAE's international holding company and luxury investment firm Catterton followed. All of these private equity companies and foreign investors, they are investing almost $2 billion in Haldiram's. Now, what do you think? They're investing $2 billion and they would not expect at least a $4 billion return from this investment? Don't you think they're going to come in and start cutting costs? Pushing them, nudging them to make even worse decisions? And of course, they are planning an IPO. And the Agarwal family is expecting a $10 to $12 billion IPO. When you are trying to justify a $10 billion valuation to public markets, margin is everything. And in food business, margin comes from one place. Say it with me. Cheap ingredients. There is no scenario now or in the future where Haldiram's is going to switch to better oils or better ingredients. It's only going to get worse from here on. Now, this is an observed, documented, and proven pattern globally. A private equity investor buys a stake in your favorite food company and they do massive cost cutting, reducing the quality of the food, going in for cheaper ingredients, and the quality degrades massively, of course. And then slowly but surely, the people start suffering from diseases like diabetes, obesity, fatty liver, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, autoimmune diseases, cancers, and many, many more diseases. And at this point, people's trust in the company and in the system breaks down completely. And to these companies and investors, you are not a human being. You are just a number on the spreadsheet. Nothing more. The brand is still there, the packaging and the logo, it's still there. The desi ghee is gone. Groundnut oil is gone. Quality is gone. The Haldiram we all loved does not exist anymore. And it is the same with every brand, every company, big and small. Now, read your labels before buying anything. Health is extremely important. It is the most important thing in your life. Don't lose it.